Okay, now here's an important point when you see such kind of a problem statement. If you get this kind of a work whenever you're working also, there are two elements to this, right? What to pitch for and how to pitch for, right? So what to pitch for is the feature set, like the ideation, trying to think of what new can be created, what is the product feature set that you can talk about. That is where the what part comes in. How to pitch for is once you're done with the product, how do I go and speak to the user? In fact, how plus when do I speak to the user? That is what this challenge was about. So Rajat, one feedback to you. This challenge was not about what to pitch, but how to pitch. So what exists, you got to use that. And then I think we've had several such challenges where, it's just incremental changes or improvements. And some of you guys have already understood that. But to those who don't get the difference, this is the difference. This kind of a challenge is more about how are you going to speak to this user? When are you going to speak to this user? And what it's most likely communication heavy, rule heavy, communication heavy. Those are the elements, and most of the changes are going to be subtle. From my personal experience, the amount of work you do as a PM or a designer maybe not, but a PM, most of it will be how to pitch, right? We get enamored by what to pitch because we think you're going to create new features and you're going to create new landing pages, do blah blah blah. That is, I would say, 20-30% of the work. Most of the work happens here because this is where the money is, right? Any subscription-led business, any business that is trying to improve and enhance, that is where the main money is. This is like a one-off. So if I want to take an accounting analogy, this is like, capital expenditure, and this is like operating expenditure. Operating expenditure over a period of time is obviously more. Likewise, same way. So this challenge is about how to pitch, right? So that get that part clear in case you were not able to understand. And if you see the solutions, I think it will be amply clear. Now, trial to subscription. Now, here is a little, so I also don't have actual data on this. YouTube doesn't share this data. Most of the content creators don't share this data. In fact, they obfuscate the data so much, abstract it so much that you have no view on what is happening. I'll give you one more example. Like Netflix says that a particular series is the most watched series. Compared to what? I mean, compared to what, when, where, and how do you classify most watch? There was a movie by Adam Sandler, I believe, and it was considered the top Netflix movie last year. This time last year, December, that's when they released their list. They don't give you data, and that data is sacrosanct and very, very important. If you are able to chance on that data, either through studies, and those studies are also going to be predictive, they're not going to get actual data. If you're able to tap into networks, and these are all informal networks, I think that is a great learning. Here, obviously, we don't have that data. I don't have any sources to share. But one thing I can share is that it's not a very apparent movement from trial to subscription, right? So for example, if you say that I'm going to give a 1-month trial to somebody for some feature, and then say because the person has taken a trial, that person is going to subscribe, that is not necessarily true, right? That funnel is not, it's not a linear funnel that acha theek hai, ऊपर 80 डालो तो नीचे 10 आएंगे. No, it depends on a lot of factors, and what matters most in those cases is the nudges, the right nudges to the right user, what Vamsi had said. So don't assume that, because like for example, somebody said, I don't know if it was here or some other group I was talking to, that Netflix is 5th and 6th December thing. It's going to give them a nice spike. It's going to give them a lot of data, but it's unlikely to give them a lot of subscriptions, right? Because it is not that linear a funnel ki acha theek hai, 100 people came, 50 kind of, took that entire subscription, and then 10 people actually went and ahead and subscribed. So don't take it for granted. Most of these subscriptions are dependent on a lot of factors working out, and marketing plays a massive role. My own personal experience, quickly I'll share. So Sony Live, I was mentioning on another group. Sony Live has a terrible product, terrible user experience, terrible purchase mechanism, but their marketing team has done a great job. They've tied up with Amazon Pay, and they were giving 50% off. Now they're giving 25% off. And they had a great content repository also, right? They had Scam 92, which is what I wanted to see. I didn't care much about the product, right? So if you're a product manager, you might be thinking, नहीं हमने बहुत अच्छा product बना लिया है and बहुत अच्छा trial period दे रहे हैं, सब कुछ हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. There are so many factors that go into it. You need to be very, very careful that assuming कि अच्छा ठीक है यहाँ ये कर दिया तो वहाँ. Nobody's figured this out. We ourselves haven't figured it. Me and Nishit try to figure it out every single day. So it's not an easy answer. Don't take any data for granted. Always try and introspect कि अच्छा ठीक है, is this the way it is? Because to each business it is different, and nudges make a huge difference. Okay? This, I'm sure, is a new thing that is happening. If you've heard the Spotify premium ads, I think you'll relate totally. So Spotify premium ads are pretty much the same kind of ads. Maybe they don't have the ad network leverage that others have, but they are trying to sell premium if you use Spotify by putting a very irritating ad, right? It's so irritating that you're like, यार इसको बंद करने के लिए ना मैं 100 रुपए दे दूंगा. I'd say don't build that kind of a product. Don't build that kind of a nudge ever. The reason why I'm saying that is because once you become a hated product or a product that hate comes through, you're going to have hacks that come through, as some of you pointed out, right? There are API based versions. Some people have created apps which you can use. The hack that I myself shared, the hack that I came to know of. Uh, what happens is, and you'll remember Internet Explorer, right? People hated Internet Explorer. What happens is, after a point, right now there's no competition, but when the competition comes and they offer even marginally better product offering with less irritation, people will jump ship very, very quickly. So don't take it for granted. YouTube obviously is a different kind of it's a unique player. I mean, it's one of the few digital products. Even Amazon has competition. It's one of the few digital products that has literally no competition. You might call Vimeo, you might call Hulu, you might cite any of them, but they're not real competition. Netflix, etc., in a different segment, whereby the content is created by the company. User generated content which can be monetized through ads and subscriptions. YouTube is the only player. YouTube looks like the only player to be for the next few years. In fact, I don't have that tweet. I'll share it with you by a VC. She shared that over the period of the lockdown and COVID-19, etc., the subscription rates have increased so much. Not premium subscription rates to content creators have increased multifolds, and that shows the power that YouTube has. And this is a bit of management. The power that YouTube has is the creator. It's not its product. It's not its premium offering. It's the product. It's the creators. The creators are not going to, like, for example, I upload this video to YouTube. Why? Because I get traction. I get a platform. It's easy to share. That is the reason. They're leveraging that. They can do it today, but don't be that product. If you have that opportunity where you are the market leader in a particular segment, don't try to fleece your customers by putting them in that irritation spot and pushing them to buy something just out of irritation, because one day they will come back and one day they will वो होता है ना सूड लेना, मराठी में एक word है सूड उगवतो एका. So that is what will happen to you, and you will not realize why it's happened, because every metric will look fine to you. One day something might change, some small teeny weeny product will come and it will change that market. ठीक है?